Hello, I'm 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗆, founder and CTO of Ruffian Software. Our product is TechID Manager. We do privileged account management for managed service providers. I'm going to come on here and real quick cover some of the things we have done this year in our continued effort to innovate and provide new features and value for our partners. So if you come to our website, you'll see a whole bunch of marketing stuff. And from the top, you go to Partner Resources and go to Releases. We have open to everybody to see all the releases and release histories for all the pieces of TechID Manager. If we click here on the top, the label for domain service, this is our agent that runs on Windows computers and domain controllers. If we scroll back a little bit here, we'll see our first release this year was domain service 4.077 in January 4th. We added the ability to use an alternate UPN domain suffix, which was a direct request from our partners. They had domains they had taken over, which had domain names that were not the public-facing domain name, such as like client.local, but yet the actual company was, bankofamerica.com, which became the UPN suffix. We can now make and maintain privileged accounts with the alternate UPN suffix as the login name. Direct request from a customer. We also had a bug where in some shared account names, a space was accidentally getting added to the end. If there was a bad script file, we didn't clean it off. We now clean that off for people. The next release was release version 4.11. In 4.11, we had some log file changes for deactivated users. We had some partners who had issues with the way we did our OU command line. So we made some parsing changes for that. And then there was a duplicate name check in the configuration situation for bad non-duplicate name users. This is a real obscure situation where we had a partner who came to us and said, we have two technicians with very similar names. We accidentally set it up wrong, so their names were duplicated. We need that handled differently. We changed the system to handle the duplicate names differently for them. It was an improvement. We did that. Most recently, in June, we did version 5.117 of the agent. There were quite a few changes here. This is the first of the 5.0 series. We did some internal encryption changes. You can now set the company property on AD users. This is a direct request from a partner of ours. You can set the MSDS supported encryption types on the AD users that are created by TechID Manager. And we can maintain those to any of the values that are supported in domains. This on DCs. This is a real specific request that came up from an audit that one of our partners' clients did. We added it. We may improve the product. We have had agent groups since the beginning of time. We now can, when you install the agent, there is an agent group command line, which will let you request membership. Let that agent request membership in an agent group. Again, this is a direct request from one of our partners who is using some automation to deploy things out, and they wanted to more quickly get everything sorted where it should go. We added that. The same thing with leafs. So you can request a leaf that the agent is attached to inside TechID Manager. We did some internal agent verification changes. These are some of the encryption stuff I was talking about. Private key access in the command line, so you can actually import and export the private key if you move an agent from one domain controller to another as you replace them. We did some script refinements. We put in a bunch of comments. We removed some comments that were confusing people. We changed the internal encryption encoding. We went from a octet-based encoding to a base 64 encoding. We also upload all the options of the agents to the management console individually, specifically, as the first step toward allowing agent options to be set either from the command line or from the management console. This is something that we have been working on for a while and we're bringing it to the forefront now. It's going to be a real improvement in product usability. And we improved some duplicate tech name handling. The partner asked us to do it a particular way from the previous release, and they're like, oh, that works great, but can we get this a little bit different? So we do it a little bit different just for them. Those were the agent changes that we've released this year. The tech client, we've also released some changes for. Let's go back, and if we go back and look at those. Oh, wrong place. There. Let's go back to the beginning of the year. March, February, January. January, we released version 4.081. This added 𝗫ification to managed passwords. This added TOTP storage for user passwords and auto scanning if QR codes are on the screen. There are a couple internal changes that weren't customer facing on that release also. This 𝗫ification is the leaves that agents can be requested to be joined on. This path over here, this tree on the left here where you can narrow down what you are looking at to help organize all these privileged accounts that we maintain for technicians. If we go up, the next version was on February 3rd, version 4.418. There was an issue if you updated from a version prior to 3.188, which was quite old. Just so this was really a basic maintenance release. We had some non-user facing changes in 4.1.6, just a maintenance release. 5.0.2.6, this is the first public release of version 5. This added vault passwords. So we had partners come to us and say, hey, we love your zero visibility storage, your host-proof hosting, your ability to store stuff without being able to see it. We would like that in a password vault. So we did that. We added password vaults. There's a bunch of description here, how they work, all that kind of stuff, so that you can have a password vault that is MSP specific with a lot of MSP specific value and features with control over who can see, know it exists, change, decrypt, and it's all done with that zero visibility storage that is so important for protecting privileged accounts. And then version 5.0.3.8, we added managed passwords, have text settable TOTP with them. This is a part of our ongoing effort to integrate MFA into and on these privileged accounts. This is the second or third of 6 steps that we're going through to automatically push MFA with every managed account for every technician. Part of our ongoing commitment to make everywhere in the world cybersecurity safer. We also show the details in the all password tabs. We changed so this one I find quite hilarious personally. We had always called this middle tab, that's now currently Martin's passwords, we'd always called it user passwords. One of our partners was like, hey, that should be like my name. And it was one of those, oh my God, that's so obvious moments that this just the way it should be. Sometimes as the head of a company or the developers, you are like eyes on looking at the product and you miss the forest for the trees that you are looking at. And this is one of those situations where it doesn't add anything except some visual flavor, but it's really just the way it should be. We canceled credential injection on focus change back to the tech client. A few other internal stuff. 5.0.4.3. We added support for additional French Canadian keyboards. We added support for foreign keyboards a while ago, early last year. And then Icelandic clients came on board, Malaysian clients, and then French Canadian. They use a lot of different keyboards. I was unaware that there were so many different keyboards for one language in the world as French Canadians use. But we added support for the third different type of French Canadian keyboard. If you are foreign, not US, and use a different keyboard, we have a mapping process you can go through to use any keyboard. We hope. If it doesn't, contact us and we'll add support for your specific keyboards because we love our partners. And then 5.0.6.5 is the current version. We added some idle time changes, and these internal changes for future releases really excite me. Not going to tell you what they are, but they're pretty exciting for the things that are coming based on the fundamentals that this release put in. So there are some changes to the Android release, the Azure agents, and then you can always see the management console changes that we do, like the cloud hosted side. We put all of those, we're real transparent, we put all of those things up there too, that you can scroll through and look at when we've done them, what kind of changes there have been. This is part of our transparency and continued innovation and desire to help and support any of our partners and anyone who is interested in privileged account management. We'd love to hear from you. gonna throw the sales pitch out now because you know you love the sales pitch. Check out TechIDManager.com, ruffiansoftware.com. In the top right corner, request a demo. Come see all the things that TechIDManager can do to help your MSP be much better with privileged account management. Have a great day. Bye.